Grapes are fun. So this is going to be a quick video, mostly because I've been incredibly busy, as I always say, to justify my shitty videos, and partly because I just didn't prepare. And I had an idea for a video, and then I decided against it. I sort of talked myself out of the logic that I was trying to follow in the video, so I can't do that anymore. But I have had a thought. I recently made a video for my personal channel, which you can subscribe to if you want. Links in the description. And in that video, at one point I said the line, and I'm paraphrasing myself here, but something like, some people revel in being offended and some people revel in offending others. Try not to be either of them. And the more I thought about it, the more I realised I wasn't 100% sure about the second part. For the most part, I do feel like people who go out of their way to offend for the sake of offending are, you know, generally assholes. But like Carrie Bradshaw from the Sex and the City, is it ever okay to offend for the sake of offending? Are there any circumstances under which going out of your way to purposefully offend people has a net positive effect on the world? I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who would argue yes, that, you know, some people need to be toughened up and shown that they can't just get offended and upset at various things and go crazy because someone said something about their sacred cow, whatever it may be. And I'm not sure if I agree with that. I'm also not sure if I disagree with it. The classic case I can think of that most of the people who will be watching this video will be familiar with is Draw Muhammad Day, which back in the day I did participate in, if in a modified way. I drew two stick men and said one of them is Muhammad. I didn't draw, you know, some stereotypical Arab terrorist with bombs strapped to his chest and a turban with stink lines coming off of it. At the very least, I had the sense not to do that. But Draw Muhammad Day did split the community down the middle. There were those that thought it made a grand statement, that it would help acclimatize very religious Muslims to having their beliefs and opinions challenged. And the other side was basically of the opinion that at best there was no evidence that that actually did occur, and at worst it was just an excuse to be Islamophobic. On the question of whether or not there are any circumstances under which offending for the sake of offending can be a moral good, can have a positive effect on the world, I feel like I lean towards the opposing view, that for the most part offending for the sake of offending doesn't really do that much good. But I find myself unsure. I'm just not really convinced that offending people for the sake of offending them will have the desired effect, that they'll, you know, become introspective and start thinking about their beliefs and what it means to have them challenged and questioned and, you know, give them a crash course in critical thinking. Where is the evidence of that? Maybe you can argue that there's nothing morally wrong with offending people, that if people are offended by something you do, that's on them and that's their own shit that they have to deal with. But the idea that offending people could be a moral good, I'm not sure. But in the spirit of this channel, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. I'll be in there skulking around. And if you can see your way to subscribing to my personal channel and following me on Twitter and on Tumblr and asking me a question on Tumblr and all my other social media, that would be lovely and a real present in this festive season. But yeah, let me know what you think. I will see you next week. Next up is Bionic Dance.